Sophie's Big Texas Adventure. Once upon a time in sunny California, there lived a cheerful and curious little girl named Sophie. Sophie had big, bright eyes and a heart full of wonder. She loved exploring new places and meeting new people. One sunny morning, Sophie's dad announced, "Sophie, we are going to visit your grandparents in Texas." Sophie jumped with joy. She had never been to Texas before and couldn't wait to see what adventures awaited her. She packed her favorite teddy bear, a picture book, and a shiny new cowboy hat her dad had bought for the trip. After a long plane ride, Sophie finally arrived in Texas. As she stepped off the plane, she felt the warm Texas sun and saw her grandparents waiting with big smiles. "Welcome to Texas, Sophie!" they cheered, giving her the biggest hugs. The next day, Sophie's grandparents took her to their big, beautiful ranch. Sophie's eyes widened as she saw horses, cows, and chickens roaming around. "Wow, this is amazing!" she exclaimed. Grandpa handed Sophie a small bucket and said, "How about we feed the chickens?" Sophie eagerly took the bucket and sprinkled grain for the chickens. They clucked happily and pecked at the ground. Sophie giggled and clapped her hands. After feeding the chickens, Grandma took Sophie to the vegetable garden. They picked fresh tomatoes, carrots, and cucumbers. Sophie loved the sweet smell of the garden and the taste of the juicy tomatoes. "Can we make a salad for dinner?" she asked. Grandma smiled and nodded. "Of course, Sophie." As the sun began to set, Grandpa called Sophie over. "It's time for a special treat," he said. He led her to the barn where a beautiful brown horse named Buttercup was waiting. Grandpa helped Sophie climb onto Buttercup's back. "Hold on tight," he said. Sophie felt a little nervous, but also very excited. With Grandpa guiding Buttercup, they took a gentle ride around the ranch. Sophie's heart filled with joy as she felt the cool breeze and saw the beautiful Texas sunset. That night, Sophie sat on the porch with her grandparents, looking up at the starry sky. "Did you have fun today, Sophie?" Grandma asked. Sophie nodded happily. "I had the best time ever. Texas is so much fun." Grandma hugged Sophie close and whispered, "We're so glad you came to visit. You're always welcome here, our little Texas cowgirl." As Sophie drifted off to sleep, she dreamed of all the fun she had on her big Texas adventure. She couldn't wait to tell her friends back in California about her wonderful time at her grandparents' ranch. And so, Sophie's heart was filled with love and memories of her special visit to Texas. She knew that no matter where she went, she would always have a piece of Texas in her heart. The end.